Hey everybody, Neil here from Post to Post. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're having a good one. Late last week, I started a series where I'm going through every single NHL team and redesigning their home jersey with some specific rules. If you did not see that, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's the team that I chose to start with because they needed a little bit of love. Okay, they just got eliminated from the playoffs, so I thought I'd throw some love their way and give them some attention. But I read the comments at the end of that video because I asked what team I should do next, and you guys answered with a lot of teams, okay? There wasn't a clear-cut winner. Columbus got some votes, Pittsburgh got some votes, Chicago, Montreal, I even got some emails about it. And I decided to say, okay, let's just go right straight to my favorite team, Toronto's rival, the Montreal Canadiens, as you can see that I'm wearing, and let's see what I can do with their jersey. So let's jump into the rules. There's just a couple, and then we'll jump into what I did for a design. So I've already designed the jersey in case you're new. I'm just here to present it to you and get your thoughts. So there you are. There's the 3 rules. In this jersey design challenge, I didn't just want to redesign the jersey, all the jerseys, just in general. I wanted to force myself into staying on track within some boundaries, and these are the 3 boundaries that I chose. One small change. That's the first one. Or I can do it, in reverse. I can do the big change first. It doesn't really matter. But I'm allowed one small change. I'm allowed one big change. And I'm allowed to either add or remove, or I guess redesign, whatever, basically a shoulder patch. So a lot of teams have shoulder patches. I could remove them. Some teams don't, and I could add them. And I left that optional depending on the rest of the jersey design. So that's it, just those 3 rules. And I'm focusing on the home specifically. And at the end, we'll see if it translates to the away. So I've gone ahead and designed an inverse version based on the home. But when I'm designing the home, I'm not thinking about the away. And the template that I'm using is by Puck Designs. It's literally free. It's very, very basic, but it's free. Feel free to download it. Not a sponsor. Have no idea who Puck Designs is. Just found it on the internet and works well. So that's what I'm using. And at the end, whenever you download it, you can there's a little thank you. And then you can go follow them on Instagram. It's @_Puck Design. So shout out to them, whoever they are. So here is the Montreal Canadiens current jersey. I've designed it to be as approximate as I can to the actual thing. You can see that there's some things missing in the inside of the collar and stuff. And I don't know if the numbers is the exact same font. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care about the specific font for this one. So it's a beautiful jersey. It's very iconic, yada, yada, yada. I went ahead and did the small change. And this is very minimal. I'm actually not going to tell you about it. I'm going to make the switch and you tell me if you see it. Most of you probably did. It's up near the neck. It's basically what Chicago did in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember the specific year. But when Adidas jerseys came out in 2017, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens had the same collar. What I mean by that is that there was white coming all the way down. And the following year, or the following year, Chicago made the great decision to cut it back halfway. And that's exactly what I did here because I think that the Montreal Canadiens should have done that at the same time that Chicago did, or originally have just gone this direction. It has always bothered me that Montreal has had this white, almost like Pope-like collar coming down here to this pentagon section. So that's my small change. I literally just changed the collar. That's not it's not a big deal change. I'll go back to and show you the actual one, and then I'll go back and show you mine. It's a very minor change, but that's the point. It's a small change. That's what it should be. And also, small and big are relative to the team. What might be big for Montreal does not equal what would be big for Columbus or Detroit. Like Detroit, a big change could be a small change for other teams. So we have to be careful when designing for certain teams because it has to be plausible as well. So I think this is a very plausible, small Montreal Canadiens change. So for my big change, I actually did something that maybe could be considered small, but I think it's a good example of a big change for Montreal. And that's implementing some kind of design into the striping. Now, they did do this in 2017 in their 100 Classic game against the Ottawa Senators. I believe they had rubberized ears and a little tiny stripe on the arm. This is kind of like that, a little bit risky for Montreal, but I felt like this was a big change in terms of Montreal's design language because Montreal doesn't take a lot of risks. Look at the jersey I'm wearing now, Reverse Retro 2.0. It's the exact same as the home jersey, just a different color. It's the exact same as Reverse Retro 1.0, just a different color. Montreal doesn't really take a lot of risks, and they don't really design a lot of jerseys. So I feel like putting the fleur de lis in there and that striping would be a pretty big change for their kind of, their designs. And I decided to design it the way that I did for 2 reasons. And what I mean by that is that you can see that it's almost faded into the background a little bit. I made it about 20% transparent, or at 20% transparency, because I didn't want it to be distracting. I wanted it to be a good addition piece to the jersey, not change completely the jersey and make it really something quite distant than what already exists. I really like Montreal Canadiens base, and I didn't want to go crazy. I think they have a wonderful jersey, and I really just wanted to try and improve it with a little bit of a flair, I guess, in the striping. So that's the main reason why it's only 20% transparent. And the other reason I put it in the striping and not somewhere else, like on the shoulder or on the arm or whatever, is because, well, Montreal plays in Quebec, and Quebec's flag is blue and white and has the fleur-de-lis on it. So I not only wanted it to be positionally correct in the jersey, but also represent where Montreal is and plays and comes from, and it's a pretty important part of the team. So the only error that you'll see on this jersey is that I accidentally used the wrong NHL logo on the front of the jersey. So fun fact, Montreal uses the French NHL logo on their home jersey and the English NHL logo on their away jersey. I think that's what it is, and I'm pretty sure that this one is the French one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the French one. So yeah, that's the only incorrect thing here on the jersey. Apologies for that. And then I went on to the optional shoulder, I guess, idea. Now, traditionally, Montreal would not have a shoulder patch on their home jersey, but Montreal does have a lot of graphics and logos and things that they can pull from their past, specifically a long time ago. But I wanted to add something that complemented the jersey. I didn't want to add something just to add something. So I went back into their history and I pulled this white logo. I believe they used it around 1910 or 1914. Actually, I should probably look that up. Apologies. The green maple leaf was used in 1910. In 1912, this one was used, so I was off by 1 or 2 years there. Apologies for that, but I wanted something that also represented Canada, and what better way to do that than a maple leaf? Now, obviously, the Toronto Maple Leafs use a maple leaf on their jersey, but the Montreal Canadiens have also used their maple leaf on their jersey dating back over 100 years. So it's not like the Montreal Canadiens are not allowed to use this logo. And I believe they also used this logo on a heritage or specialty jersey around 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So yeah, it's part of their jersey, and I think it does complement the jersey as well. It says Quebec on this jersey, and it says Canada, and it says the Montreal Canadiens still. So it says really everything. It represents everything. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a bold decision to put the shoulder patch on there, but I do like the little changes of this one. Now, here's the tricky part. I'm not designing an away jersey I'm not taking the away jersey and redesigning that, okay? That's not part of this process. The process is to design a home jersey and then make an inverse version, essentially, of that for the away jersey, and just to see if it works, okay? So here is the away jersey. And I am pleasantly surprised because I actually like this more than the home jersey, because as much as I do like the away jersey, I really do believe that Montreal could benefit from a redesign from their away jersey. And if they did, I really want them to use this 1944 to 1947 style where you've got that backing bar, so it matches that same design language that you see in the home jersey, but you inverse the colors, and then the stripe is still blue, okay? It's still representative of Quebec, okay? But you still have the shoulder patch up there, and I think it looks even better. I just outlined it in red just to make it stand out, but it's not distracting because it's basically white on white, but it's just, I don't know, I think it complements the shoulders way better on the away here than the home. So yeah, I like this one a little bit more. I think it was the opposite of that in the Toronto, which had way bigger changes than this Montreal one, so if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But in that video, I didn't really like the away jersey. I liked the home jersey, and that it didn't translate well to the away, I felt. But here, I think it actually translates perfectly, and I end up liking the away more than the home. That I didn't know that was going to happen. That wasn't intentional, but I'm quite pleased with that. So that's it. There's nothing more to show. That was the last little bit of stuff, and now it's your turn. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, doesn't really matter to me. I just appreciate that you are watching this video and coming along this bit of a series and journey with me. And leave your comments down below. Let me know if you like it, and let me know if you don't like it. And also, I need to know what team to do next. So my goal is to really see what happens at the end of the video, see what the comments are, and really base the next design on what team people want to see. So if it's Pittsburgh or Columbus or Chicago, or the same kind of teams that are being commented from the previous video, well, I'm going to jump into Chicago, Pittsburgh, or Columbus, or whatever. I'm going to be looking at the comments. So whatever team you want me to design next, leave your comments down below. And if you want to join me for the series and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Would love to have you here, and this is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I guess one last important thing is that every Friday on the channel, we do Jersey Concepts. We look at your work from the community, and I am dangerously low. And in fact, I have none. So if you are interested in submitting a full league, NHL, full league to me of your jersey designs, your uniform designs, whatever, I would love to have it, because those Friday videos might have to transition a little bit because I don't have any NHL jersey specific sets left. So feel free to send in your designs. Details on how to do that are down below in the description. Hope you guys are having a great night watching the NHL playoffs as I'm filming this, and we'll talk to you very soon, of course. Adios.